Today I ducked up by orgasming uncontrollably at a gym, causing a 911 call. About 4 months ago, I started doing daily Kegel routines to improve and intensify my orgasms. They work. Today, doing sit-ups on a bench at the gym, I began to feel strange. As I pushed upward on each rep, my body felt tenser and tenser, like frustrated and elated, and I was vividly aware of the inseam of my shorts between my legs. Right before the peak, I finally realized what was happening. Stifling a moan, I threw myself forward, trying to avoid lying arched and spread-eagled on my back. I ended up crashing to the floor, clutching myself. Once I could think again, I realized people were running toward me and yelling about seizures and heart attacks and 911. I curled into the fetal position. I was raised to be deeply, deeply ashamed of every aspect of my sexuality, and though I've recovered enough now to be adventurous in the bedroom, I'm still a ball of shame in public. Hearing sirens, my gym is 4 blocks from the fire station, I wished for death. Finally, when the paramedics were about to grab me, knowing I couldn't afford the monetary devastation of an ER visit, I sat up and yelled, "It was an orgasm, I'm fine. I'm never going to the gym again. But I am gonna see where these Kegels take me." Today I ducked up by asking my boyfriend's mom to eat my A. So I'm dating my guy for the past 4 months, and due to the fact that I am a mom, when we meet we stay at his place. He lives alone but his, very religious and backwards, parents visit from time to time and stay there for a couple of days. This weekend was not one of them. His parents were supposed to be across the country and not in his house. I just have to say that I haven't met them yet because they would be shocked by my appearance and by the fact that I am a mom. So we had an extra wild night and fell asleep. When I woke up pretty early in the morning, he was not on the bed and I heard the water running in the bathroom, so I assumed he was having a shower. Great opportunity to sneak in and have a morning shower treat. I tried to open the bathroom door, but to my surprise it was locked. He was probably taking a ST before the shower, I thought. So I knock softly on the door and say, "Hey babes. Who wants to suck my A?" The water stops running, but no response. I continue with the sexiest voice I have. "Come on, open the door. I need a good spanking. I want you to turn my A red and then eat it." Still no response. That's when I hear the main door open and to my surprise I see my boyfriend with his dad entering the house with a bunch of bags and boxes in their hands. I turn my head and look at the bathroom door horrified. My stomach dropped. Maya didn't want to be eaten anymore. Never again. The door opens slowly and I see in front of me his mom, her eyes filled with despair and judgment. I'm looking at my boyfriend and he says, "Mom, Dad, this is my girlfriend." My face was burning and I just shook her hand and then went and shook his dad's hand, and then I went into his room and packed my stuff, made an excuse and left. Later I found out that his parents decided to come last minute in order to go to a friend's funeral and didn't say anything to him because they assumed he would be alone. And he had no choice but introduce us. His mother never wants to see me again. And I assume the answer to the question I asked her is no. Lol. Today I ducked up by accidentally caressing a parent of a child in my class. This happened a couple months ago, but I ran into my former boss today and she informed me that she still watches the video footage of my duck up whenever she needs a good laugh. For the past 5 years I've worked in childcare with primarily 1- and 2-year-olds. I'm very affectionate and am known to spoil the kids by holding them and cuddling them all day. I often have multiple toddlers coming to me needing to be consoled at the same time, so I've gotten very good at multitasking. One day, this little boy named Luke was getting picked up by his dad early. It was snack time and Luke was not happy about having to leave and have his snack taken away from him. I took the screaming Luke and set him on the edge of the half-door counter thing in front of his dad. His dad put an arm around him and bent over to sign him out. Luke was still crying loudly, so I reached out my hand to smooth his hair back and touch his cheek. At the same time as I'm doing this, another little boy starts crying my name because he's just fallen down, so I turn around a little bit to face the other child. At this point, I'm still caressing Luke's face almost subconsciously while also kneeling down to talk to the other boy that's crying. After several moments of touching Luke's face, I realize that it's surprisingly hairy and then realize that he's a baby and shouldn't have a hairy face. My hand freezes and I slowly turn my head to see that not only am I face to face with Luke's dad, because I was kneeling and he was bent over the door signing Luke out, but that I also have my hand on his face instead of Luke's. I sat there shocked for several seconds before I realized that he had the biggest grin on his face, and it finally clicked in my brain that I should move my hand. I stood up and immediately started apologizing and trying to explain myself. He just chuckled and said, "Don't be. Your hands are very soft and I do enjoy being pet." The thing about Luke's dad is that he is one of the most stunningly beautiful men to walk this earth. All the women I worked with had crushes on him and I'm pretty sure he knew it. He is also very charming and sometimes flirty, but not in a creepy inappropriate way. So when he said this to me, my jaw dropped and my face felt like it was about to burst into flames from how much I was blushing. He saw my face, let out a big belly laugh, and said, "Relax. I'm just messing with you. It's okay, really." He then winked at me before chuckling some more and leaving with Luke. A couple minutes later, I hear some roaring laughter coming from the director's office. My director came down the hall cackling and asking who wanted to see me make a move on Luke's dad. Of course, by the end of the day everyone had seen the video of my duck up. The next day, Luke's mom came into the room and said, "I heard you made a move on my husband yesterday," and then erupted into laughter. Apparently he called her as soon as he left to tell her all about what I had done. When my director saw that Luke's mom was there, she called us into her office to watch the video together. It's even more embarrassing watching it happen because of how absurdly long I was touching his face. Luckily, Luke's mom found the whole thing hilarious and hugged me and laughed the whole time we watched the video. The rest of the time I worked there I was teased about what I'd done. And apparently my director still watches the video and even shows some of the new employees. It is quite funny now but was super embarrassing in the moment.
Today I ducked up by taking Viagra at the wrong time. So, a little context for the scene. It was a friend's birthday, we planned to watch a football/soccer game and then play a game of poker afterwards. We started out in a pub at midday, had a few pints and got merry, then walked to the game with a couple of beers each. When we were there more drinking ensued before the game. After the game we had a miniature pub crawl on the way back to my house. We all played poker, had a good laugh and got progressively more drunk as the night went on. We were all pretty drunk by this point, and also we had been puffing the devil's lettuce for most of the evening too. Everyone decided to go out for a few drinks to finish the night off. My girlfriend and I joined in as we had a good buzz going and didn't want to kill it. This was good fun. We all had a great night and decided to go home. Up until now, this was one of the better nights out I've had in a long time. My girlfriend and I got home and I could sense we were going to get it on a bit later. And I had been given a Viagra by a friend months before, which I just kept because I didn't really rely on that sort of thing at all. Now, we had been drinking heavily, I'd been chuffing jazz cabbage like I was in Amsterdam, and also had a couple of nose beers for good measure. So all in all I was pretty damn inebriated. I came to the conclusion it would be a good idea to pop my little blue friend. We were both as inebriated as each other and were a little shaky on our legs. We were both on different sofas and I beckoned her over onto my sofa as it was the bigger one. She rolled off the sofa and landed on a pint glass which smashed and gashed her open with a laceration about 4 inches long and down to the bone deep. It was wide open and pissing blood out. At this point it all became very sobering, for me, luckily not for her though. I quickly realized that I needed to get her up to the hospital. So I dialed an ambulance, tidied up, got her dressed, and hoped the little blue bastard wouldn't do anything. And it didn't. For a while. We got up to a busy A&D department and shortly after that it started to kick in. With full effect. I was sat in A&D with an absolute rod in my pants, unable to really move or do anything, unable to adjust myself properly because of all the people around, and it was bloody horrible. It lasted for about 2 hours until it became painful. I was in a bad way and I had to do something about it. And thank the Lord that her parents were able to come and tag in to look after her at the hospital. After a few hours sitting in a hospital with an embarrassing boner which had gotten to the point of pain and having not slept all night, it was now about 10 a.m. the following day. I just wanted to get home, relieve myself and get some shut-eye. And that's precisely what I did. It helped for a little while but didn't really solve the problem entirely. But the pain had gone and I got to sleep soundly. All the way to the hospital I knew it would be a good story, and that was my solace for the impending tentpole I knew was going to involuntarily pitch itself in my boxers. Hey, if you want to see more similar videos like this one on daily basis, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification to see our tomorrow's even better video.